Hello and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host Brian. We're going to wrap up this week with some new music, as we always do. This one, we're checking out a band called Extreme, which I don't think I've heard of before, but given their subscriber count and the views on this video are quite a bit more popular than most of the stuff we check out. So I figured I'd give them a listen and see what makes them so universally liked, I suppose. Let's dive into this. And I say universally liked, like they have millions of views, like some, pop track or something. But it just seems that they just have more views than we normally have on the videos we check out. So, anyways, let's get into this. See what's going on with Extreme's The Mask. I know Beat Saber when I see it. Although he is not playing what's on the screen. Also, why would he be casting to the screen if he's the only one there? Normally you cast it so other people... Well, he might be doing air link. We gotta check out this video. What am I talking about? That's a whole production. What are we, like a minute in already? No music yet. There we go. Really dig that. Is that a Strandberg bass? I even like the the boxy body. We're all the people we say we hate. We're all winners and we're all cheats. We're all the things that we wanna defeat. We're all innocent and we're dang, the logo is on the bass and I missed it. We're all disease and we're all the cure. We're all living but we are already dead. We're everything that we need to pretend. Rip off your mask, show me who you are. Show me who you are. Show me who you are. Rip off my mask, show you who I am. Show you who I am. Show you who I am. Rip off your mask and show me who you are. Show me who you are. Show me who you are. Rip off my mask, I'll show you who I am. Show you who I am. Show you who I am. We're all secrets and we're all told. Do they often use both of their vocalists? We're all rich and we're all poor. We're all searching for what it's all for. We're all doubters and we're all faith. We're all the things that we want to replace. We're all fiction and we're all fact. We're all the good and we're all the bad. Rip off your mask and show me who you are. Show me who you are. Show me who you are. Rip off your mask. I hope the lead singer gets a larger part somewhere. Show me who you are. Rip off my mask. I'll show you who I am. Show you who I am. Show you who I am. Rip off my mask. I'll show you who I am. Show you who I am. Show you who I am. I'll take the blame for all my sins, but I won't take the hate for what you imagine. Nice. Finally get some harmony here. What you imagine. What you imagine. Nice little bluesy riff there at the end of that last phrase on the guitar. me a little bit more of that playfulness. That harmonic line was pretty clean. Uh, I, I kind of hope that connects to some other music video. Just kind of leaves you hanging there. I mean, unless it's supposed to be the idea that now that he's joined this virtual revolution, he went and watched a music video in VR. Now he's on a government watch list. Um, yeah, I mean, this is solid hard rock right here. No frills, gets in, does its thing, and gets out. It's very one-track minded. The swingy bump ba-dum kind of rhythm is pervasive in both our verse and our chorus and some aspects of the bridge. As far as my tastes go, it does last just a little bit too long. It overstays its welcome and is too large of a factor of the foundation of much of this song, where most of it becomes homogeneous in a way that sort of blurs together and doesn't leave many of the sections rather distinct. Though, as usual with this type of music, the melody, primarily what's given to us from the vocals in many of these sections, do a pretty good job at keeping the listener's interest, depending on how resistant you are to repetition. The chorus is a very short idea, done quite a bit, and I could see that being a bit of a hurdle for some people into enjoying this. The chorus also lacks a bit of dynamic elements in the melody. You either are here for the main idea that they have, or you've checked out by the third time it comes around. And I think that really is my only real big criticism with the track, is that it's sort of one idea stretched out to a 3.5 minute song, and I don't know that it's necessarily strong enough to stand on its own for such a long time. The bridge is a welcome departure from it, although the main thing here is a bit of a harmonic shift away from the pentatonic idea that they're utilizing to a bluesier concept that the guitarist uses, and adds a bit of harmonic spice to the entire track while also sprucing up and expanding upon the more laid back feel of the entire track and pushing towards something a bit driving. I did really enjoy the playfulness in the middle of the solo, and I kind of wish we had saw a little bit more of that rather than as much of the shred as we did. But I think for a hard rock solo, it did what it needs to do. A little bit of adrenaline shot in the middle of the track when it starts to hit its most monotonous and change things up drastically. It's not really supposed to be a melodic phrase that stands well on its own. It's in support of what the song needs at that moment, and I think it does a pretty good job at being that. Um, although, well, I'm not going to give that. I was going to say what I would do or what I would suggest, but I don't think it's very fair for stuff like this that sits closer to the mainstream, because their intentions tend to be different than mine when it comes to the creative process. Just to dip into it a little bit, I was going to mention that if the song were a bit more dynamic, the solo wouldn't have to have held up the song so hard and it could have done its own thing, but that would have done something drastically different with the song and pushed it in a new direction that might not have lined with the goals of the song itself. For all I know, this is their most simplest song on whatever album this comes off of, and it's designed specifically to be the arena rock song, the one that everybody can sort of sing along to. It has one single line in the chorus. You can pick it up on the first time and join in on the second and third times. The music is simple in a way that has widespread appeal. This is a track that is designed for maximum listenability, which also lines up very well with being a really good single. It's the one you want people to listen to and say, hey, I want more of that. Let me go find their album now. And maybe the rest of their album has some of the complexity I wish this would have had and would have alleviated some of the weight put on the guitar during the solo, but again, it would have drastically changed what the song is doing. So that's why I don't think it's too fair to necessarily go in that direction often when it comes to tracks like this. More progressive tracks, songs that are specifically aiming to be more of personal art more than commercial art. And I'm not accusing this band of creating this specifically for financial reasons. It's just that sonically this lines up with music that is meant to, or is traditionally listened to in a more palatable, widespread mainstream appeal, which tends to line up with financial gains for record companies and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, it's a very different mindset I have when I listen to more progressive or eclectic or experimental music, where I think that my input might actually have some meaning because my interests in the music align or align more closely with the artists regarding the work itself. Or maybe I can just see a stronger affinity for that alignment, where here it's possible that this wasn't created with the art first, and it was created for a different reason. I'm not saying that that's why Extreme made this. It's just a possibility, and I have to at least entertain that so that I appreciate the track for its intended purposes, and I don't misunderstand what the song is doing and have a negative connection to it because my expectations are different than their intentions. With all of that said, I think this is, once again, a fine hard rock track. I love the bass heavy presence. I love the bass driven element. I'm a huge fan of bass, and I love that despite the bass sort of just picking one note and playing it a lot this entire track, at least it was in the forefront and drove much of the track itself. The drums were solid. There was a couple really nice fills. The guitar tone is nice, and I enjoyed the solo for what it was. And I'm a huge fan of the dual vocals. I love that in any band. I think their vocals work together very well. I wish there was more harmony rather than passing of the baton, but either way, I'll take it. And it was really nice, I think, to hear the bass on the second chorus as well. Or I guess it was the end of the bridge, wasn't it? I saw them on microphone, and I thought I heard a third vocal, but it might have just been a third harmony. I'm not sure. I didn't necessarily hear a third distinct timbre. So I'm not going to say the bassist does sing, but it appears that they did, and I heard something that could have been them. And three vocalists is a surefire way for me to be paying attention. So I really enjoy that. Overall, again, I probably thought too heavily about this track and went into a bunch of things that aren't necessarily pertaining to the song itself and are more of observations about this type of music in general, but I mean, that's what we come here for. We get critical about music and dive in quite a bit. Let me hit some lyrics real quick and then we'll wrap this one up. Normally, I don't do this. I prefer to appreciate musical arts on its own, not as a multimedia project. I think a lot of the ways that music is consumed today is as a secondary function of something else. A lot of people listen to music while doing something. They listen to music in the background of their films and movies. And so I really like to take this moment and have a space on the internet to focus on the music itself as the primary and sometimes even exclusionary art in a moment. But I think after reading these lyrics and remembering there was some stuff at the beginning of the music video, I want to take both of this together and view it as a whole. And you'll know why after we get through the lyrics and move on to its relationship and its recontextualization through the text of the video itself, or more specifically, the skit prior to the music video. To kick this off, the lyrics are some of those things that sound profound but actually end up really saying nothing at all. Many of the lyrics are contrarian. We're all sinners and we're all saints. We're all winners and we're all cheaters, and we're all the things that we want to defeat, and we're all innocent but we're all also diseased, and we're all also pure, and we are all also the cure. We're all living but we're already dead. It sounds really deep. It really does, until you decide to scrutinize what it actually means. And that's where a lot of this falls apart, and it sort of works more on an emotional level. What do these sentences feel like? More so than what is actually being said here. And I think this really comes to a head when you hit the chorus, which just says, "Rip off your mask and show me who you are. If you do that, I'll rip off my mask and I'll show you who I am." And I'm trying to think about what that means in the context of everything else. I think the verses are saying one of two things. One, either we're all the same. We all have blemishes to our past. We all have positive aspects to ourselves. We are all a culmination of everything. We are not one thing, and thus we are all the same. I don't think that's a fantastic read, especially when one of the lines says, where is this line? We're all secrets, and we're all told we're all the things that we wish to behold. We're all rich, and we're all poor. We're all searching for what it's all for. That line specifically doesn't feel so much of being that we are all a portion of all things. We're not all rich and all poor. As a whole, we are. Sure, there are rich portions of humanity and there are poor portions of humanity, and that's actually what this begins to feel more like to me. It isn't saying that we're all similar and we're all in this together because we all have our good days and bad days. We've all made mistakes and we're all trying to be better. It's saying that when you bring us all together, you can divide us. There's sinners over there, there's rich people over there, there's saints over here, there's people over here trying to tear things down, here's people over here trying to heal things, and that's more of how it ends up feeling like to me. And so the chorus then lines up with this a lot better than the previous read and says, "Rip off your mask and show me who you are. What group do you belong to?" is what this feels like. And it was at this moment of reading the lyrics when I remembered, oh wait, there was something at the beginning of the music video talking about division. So let me go back and check that out real quick. So I went and looked. And the opening line says, "As a people, we are meticulously being divided in the name of diversity." Now right there, we already start off with a logical fallacy. We aren't divided in the name of diversity, we're divided because we are diverse. But diversity does not create division. People can use it to divide, but it is not an innate element of diversity. The opposite of diversity is homogeneity, in which everybody is the same, and that's an automatron society, and I think most people would be okay with not going in that direction. In fact, many of the lines here even speak about not being able to say what you want to say for fear of persecution. The idea that, oh, let me push forward. Sorry, I hit this real quick. Let me push forward a little bit. The very next line says, "Our voices silenced in fear of being persecuted and cast out." Diversity cannot exist without diversity of thought. So this is a text that says that freedom of speech, diversity of thought, and what is that word I want? When you're unique, individualistic ideas should be championed. You are unique, you have your own thoughts, your own ideas, and they should be presented in discourse in your culture. We should not go towards any sort of homogeneity. Taking that perspective entirely, the opening makes no sense. The first line is already undercut by the second and third lines in the music video. And so they actually do want diversity, even though they just said diversity was bad. But it's because to them, diversity, I think, is a buzzword. It doesn't actually mean things that are diverse. It probably means something correlating with. Do we take this in a political? It has to be taken in a political angle. I feel like this is a political track. I feel like they associate it with progressive tendencies and lawmaking and progressive thought, which, yes, I'm elephant in the room right now. A lot of the lines here in our opening parts of the music video, before we actually hit the music, are indicative of QAnon far-right conspiracy theory vernacular that is said so in a way that is seemingly inoffensive and makes sense, but actually has lots of ties towards hatred and bigotry towards your fellow human. This entire opening is just incredibly tone deaf. It doesn't know what it's saying. It doesn't understand the text that it is misquoting, and it is portraying it in a way that oversteps and undercuts its own ideas. And then it's presented against a song that says we should all be diverse. Everybody has their own group. Show me who you are. And the idea of take off your mask and show me who you really are in the context of this political climate and the ideas that the music video have presented me in, place this in a really shaky area where this feels like far right-wing propaganda. Done so in a musical way that is mostly inoffensive and tries to say a lot of nothing in a way that will resonate with the most amount of people, because if there's no substance in it, you can put whatever you want into it and pull whatever you want back out of it. It's sort of like artistic music or art or sculpture or whatever that is intentionally left a bit vague in order for interpretations to be more widespread, but this one's just left empty. It's not vaguity, it's just nothing. And so a track that I walked away from sort of enjoying the musical side of it. I like bluesy hard rock. And while this is very iterative and I think well done but well tread road, I don't think I'll be revisiting this. And this song itself, the lyrics of it and the music video surrounding it have soured the band for me in quite a way that I just will not be revisiting them. Which is a bit unfortunate because it was a pretty good track musically. So, yeah, that's a shame. Those are my thoughts on Extremes The Mask. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section. Give me your perspectives, opinions, thoughts, anything else about the track. Let me know if you enjoyed it or not, anything that stood out to you. I'm sure we're going to have quite a bit of discussion about the lyrics in particular. Let's go. Above the comment section in the description box, you'll find a link to Linktree. It takes you here. You can find links to my music, ways to support the channel, a link to the Discord server, and so much more. Above that, if you could, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. I greatly appreciate all three of those. That wraps it up for this one. We do have one more track ahead of us that's come out recently. Looking forward to it just because it is a very cool mishmash of genres. Or so I've heard, at least. I haven't listened to the track yet, of course. I gotta save it for the reaction. But if that doesn't interest you, I'll be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. UTC as usual. We're going to check out a full album. Until next time, remember to be critical, not cynical, of the music you listen to, and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever you choose to watch my videos.